The issue really lies with Ferrari here, and this is where I'm going to get into the business, who they blatantly said to him, we have nothing for you in 2021. Hi everyone, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Why Blank Should Be in Formula 1. Now this is a series I run on my channel. It's very self-explanatory. It is that I pick a driver and I speak about why I believe that they should be in Formula 1. Now as we know, last weekend Callum Ilott was battling out with Mick Schumacher to win the Formula 2 title, and unfortunately Callum did lose the battle to the title. Mick Schumacher did win this and deservingly. However, it's been a massive topic this year about the fact that Callum Ilott does not have a drive in Formula 1 for 2021 when arguably he really should be, and he was very, very close to taking that championship from Mick Schumacher. So for today's video, I thought it would fit perfectly into my series and do Callum Ilott as to why I believe he should be in Formula 1, because he definitely should be. So before I get into the video, if you do enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. But yeah, let's just get started into the video. Okay, so Callum actually debuted in karting in 2008 and done karting for quite a long time. He done karting up to 2014, and in that time won karting championships such as the like of the KF2 42 Trofeo della Industria. Now I think I mentioned this title in another video and I still can't say it, but he won that championship in 2013, and he also won the CIK FIA European Championship. Now I think that is the most prestigious karting championship, you know. I think everybody knows that the CIK European Championship is just one that everybody knows, and Callum won this. And actually Callum is described as one of the fastest karters of his generation, and think how many karters there are for a start. Think how many karters there are that are around the age of 20, 21, 22, etc. He was named back then as one of the fastest, if not the fastest, in his generation. Now 2015 was when Callum was selected as a Red Bull Junior. He actually ran the Toyota Racing Series in January to February, however wasn't announced as a Red Bull Junior until after that series. But in 2015 he went straight, this was his first year of single seaters, and he went straight up to FIA Euro Championship. So he raced with Carlin. As we know, Carlin is one of the biggest and the best teams in junior categories. He came 12th in this championship, which wasn't the best, but in all honesty it wasn't the worst. He was in the same championship as Felix Rosenqvist, and if you watch my other video, which I only done a couple of weeks ago on Felix Rosenqvist and why he should be in Formula 1, I mentioned him. This was his title he won in 2015, but as I said, Callum only came 12th, but it was his first year of single seaters. You can't expect anybody to come straight out of the blocks, especially when you're going straight to Formula 3 and smash it. So I think 12th was very respectable. In 2016 he done FIA Formula 3 again, but this time he done it with the team Van Amerfort Racing, and he came 6th. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce. Honestly, if you're like new to my channel, you can get used to me not being able to pronounce anything. In this year he had 2 wins and 4 other podiums. He had a very good year. This was the year that Lance Stroll actually won the F3 title and went up to Formula 1 the next year, but Callum had a very respectable year. Again, Callum is still very young at this stage. He is literally only like 17, 18 years old when he is doing this championship. Obviously we know Lance is as well, but Callum is still young, you know, he's still young and he's doing this and he's building his way up. Now at the back end of 2016 Callum actually got dropped by the Red Bull program, but he actually said this was a relief. Surprise, surprise. And he got picked up by Ferrari in 2017, and this is when his Ferrari journey begun. He done FIA Formula 3 again, but this time he was with Prema. Now I think there's just a great link between Prema and Ferrari. A lot of Ferrari juniors go into the Prema. Ferrari have a great relationship with Prema, and this is why he went into Prema, and he came 4th in the championship this year. He had 6 wins and 5 other podiums. This was the year that Lando Norris actually won the championship. So again, Callum is never somebody, and I've always thought this about Callum because I've followed Callum's journey and I've researched Callum before and just knew more about his career and stuff, and Callum's never been the driver that has been right at the top, but he's always been there, and he's always been a very consistent driver. He's getting good wins, as you can see. He's getting good wins, he's getting good podiums, but he's never the one right at the top, but he is always there. So for 2018 Callum moved up to GP3 and had a really good year in this year. This was the year that he was teammates with the champion, the late Antoine Hubert, Nikita Mazepin and Jake Hughes, and they all raced for ART, and this was a really good year for Callum. Callum placed 3rd in the championship and had 2 wins with 5 other podiums, and this enabled him to be promoted into Formula 2 for the next year. So now when I got into GP3 I actually caught the back end of the 2018 season, so I did see Callum's kind of last end of the year progression, and I was really impressed with him, so I was really excited to see him in the Charouse car for 2019's FIA Formula 2. Now Callum didn't have the best year with Charouse. He actually placed 11th in the championship and had 2 podiums only. He did have a bit of a rough year because I remember watching it and I was like, oh, this isn't the best, but I know that Callum can do more. I was a little bit worried for him, but at the end of the day not everybody has the best year, because Mick Schumacher was behind him, 12th in the championship. Callum was actually 21 points points ahead of Mick. Neither would we ever have guessed that the guys that were placed 11th and 12th in the championship the year before would be the people that were placed the 1st and 2nd for the 2020 championship. But now we are here to 2020. This is FIA Formula 2. Callum has moved up to UNI Virtuosi, and this is the year. Now, I don't think anybody expected Callum to come out the blocks like he did. I knew Callum was a good driver. I knew he was consistent, but I kind of always saw Callum just as that consistent driver. I never expected Callum to be as ferocious, as hard driving as he was, and I loved it. I don't think anybody could actually believe he came out of the blocks like this. But nevertheless, he did. He has had an amazing 2020 campaign. Obviously, Mick Schumacher's came up. I did expect Mick to come up. I expected him to kind of do that kind of same thing that he does every year, where he has one year that's not as good and then next year is good. So I expected Mick to be up, but I didn't expect it to be Callum next to him. And I love that it was Callum. Callum has had 3 wins and 3 other podiums this year, but the issue really lies with Ferrari here, and this is where I'm going to get into the business as what happened this year. Now, obviously, around summertime, this is when you're looking at the Formula 2 drivers moving up to Formula 1, and Callum's fate is in Ferrari's hands. Callum cannot breach his contract as an FDA driver to go and breach out to these teams. It's not like a driver who is somebody that is freelance. Somebody like Felipe Drugovich, or somebody who is not tied to a team, especially Ferrari. Ferrari done all the work for Callum. So Callum couldn't go out to a team and be like, I want this seat, I want this seat. It was literally in the hands of Ferrari. He couldn't do anything. It was up to Ferrari to place him. That's how much power they had over him. They had the power of his future over him. And this is where it really went wrong. Back in August, September time, they were promising him that he would have this Formula 1 seat. They were saying, you know, there is room available for him. Firstly, they said Alpha to him. Then they said Haas to him. They pretty much literally told him that Mick Schumacher had signed for Alfa Romeo. I don't know whether something went wrong with that, because next thing you know, Mick is going to Haas, Nikita is going to Haas, and Alpha are retaining their lineup. So I'm really not sure what happened with that Alpha situation, because what it looked like to me was Callum was going to go to Haas, and then Alpha was definitely going to be Mick Schumacher. I have no idea what happened there. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but I certainly don't. I don't know why Alpha have retained both of their drivers. Definitely not worthy in my opinion, but nevertheless, that is what happened. So around August, September time, this is when Callum was being told, you know, you're probably going to have a seat at Haas. Obviously, he was meant to do the FP1 in Germany for Haas, couldn't do that. But even around this time, you know, when was Germany? I can't even remember. All the months kind of go together. But even at Germany time, Callum was expected to step into the Haas to be a Formula 1 driver. Mick was never expected to go to the Haas. So where that went wrong, I don't know. Now, back in October, Callum actually had a call with the Ferrari Driver Academy, who they blatantly said to him, we have nothing for you in 2021. And even at this time, they said, we have no reserve drive for you. We literally have nothing for you. And I just think, how can Ferrari leave this man with nothing? This is a man that was battling for this title. Even back then, we knew this was going to be Callum or Mick to win this championship. Both Ferrari drivers. I get why they favoured Mick. We know the name. We know what he brings. We know he brings the media the attention. But that doesn't mean you can just forget about your other driver. And yeah, they gave a call to Callum. They said, look, I think your Ferrari Driver Academy contract terminates on the 14th of November. We aren't going to renew this. We're not giving you anything. And it's just like, what? This man has driven the legs off this car the whole year, and you're going to give him nothing. So around this time, Callum was looking at other ventures he could go to. I heard that he could maybe have gone to Formula E. They would have paid him like 5 times as much as they would if he was a Formula 1 test driver, or even a Formula 1 driver, because obviously he is a rookie. They can kind of pay them pennies, really. And if he went to Formula E, he would be an experienced driver and would get a lot of money. However, it's very late on in the season for Formula E. You can't just step in, because they run like November. Normally they run like November to July, so it would have been way too late for him to step in. So he started to look at America. He started to see if he could step into the IndyCar series or something along the lines of that in America. But none of these ever came to fruition, and Callum's last words that he has actually said this weekend at Bahrain is that he's going to be in and around the paddock. So I'm hoping that he's worked something out with Ferrari and that they're going to be able to give him a reserve role, maybe with Ferrari, Alpha or Haas. But the last I heard is that they had nothing to offer him, which I just think is absolutely disgusting. So yeah, Callum has said he will be in and around the paddock and will be, you know, doing stuff for Ferrari, and he's going to hang on to this, because it's all well and good looking to go to America, but once you're in America, it's very difficult to come back to Europe. It very much is. You're very segregated away, and you kind of get forgotten about. So Callum's eyes are firmly set on 2022, and I really hope that maybe if I could revisit this video in a year's time, we would know that Callum Ilott maybe has a seat in Formula 1. I believe he really does deserve this. I don't know whether he's going to break his ties with Ferrari, because last I heard, his contract has ended with the Ferrari Driver Academy, or will end at the end of the year. So I don't know if he's going to stick around with Ferrari, find another team. I don't know. know what's going to go on. But we cannot lose Callum Ilott out of this Formula 1 paddock. He is an amazing talent. Yes, he's never really won any championships after his karting career, but he's still a very consistent driver, and this year he has proved that he can fight and fight and fight. He's not going to do Formula 2 again next year. He said that's out of the picture. He's going to be in the paddock fighting for a 2022 seat, and I firmly believe that he should be there because he deserves it. He's fought amazingly, and I think we would all love to see Callum Ilott on the 2022 F1 grid. So there we go, that is it for today's video. I hope you did learn a little bit more about Callum's situation this year in 2020 and also his career before that. He's had a very successful racing career, and I definitely feel like he should not be overlooked and should not be forgotten about in this year that he takes off. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel down below. And yeah, I will be back soon for a brand new video. Goodbye.